Cooper Tire's AT3 XLT design is a light truck tire. The 37-12-50-17 tire will also find its way into off-road trail vehicles. A key feature of this tire is the DuraTread technology for long tire tread life. At the 5,200-mile test conclusion, the rear tires measured 1/32 inch tread wear. We measured each rib across the entire tread face to evaluate the wear pattern, looking closely for any irregularities in the tread. The front tires measured 2/32 of an inch wear at the inner tread blocks, 3/64 inch wear at the center ribs. There was slight feathering at the inner tread blocks, evident under magnification. This slight feathering flattened out and the tread normalized after these front tires were rotated to the rear in cross pattern and the truck was driven approximately 80 miles. A wheel alignment check will be performed to identify the cause of this slight feathering. The tread is otherwise wearing normally. When testing tires, at each tire rotation, the steering linkage and the steering gear get checked for play or wear. This is the only way to assure that the test is accurate. We perform our own wheel alignment. Gilsmith Racing Fabrication turn plates enable accurate alignment checks and necessary adjustments. A level area of the floor is dedicated to this work. To begin the alignment work, the chassis must be leveled precisely for accurate camber, caster, and toe check. The level is placed at the mid-frame side rail. Shown here are 6-ton rated stands and a 4-ton floor jack left in place for safety backup. The transfer case is in 4-wheel drive low range, with a transmission in park to keep the truck from rolling rearward. The frame is level fore and aft and sideways. Here, a wheel is lifted at one side to check for steering linkage wear and looseness. This also relieves any bind and provides a more accurate alignment check. This procedure is repeated at the opposite side. The linkage test is holding the tire at a 3 to 9 o'clock position and shaking the wheel back and forth. The steering knuckle ball joint wear is tested by rocking or lifting the wheel tire assembly from a 6 to 12 o'clock position. Often a pry bar at the floor can help. Look for abnormal movement or play at the knuckle ball joints. Checking for tie rod end or ball joint play is easier without the turn plates in place. Without the turn plates, one wheel is solidly anchored to the floor, the opposite wheel raised with the floor jack. The steering gear play is always tested with the front wheels pointed straight ahead and the steering gear on dead center. The coupler above the gear can be rotated back and forth while holding the pitman arm with the other hand. On this Ram Saginaw gear, there should be no pitman arm play or backlash over center. Properly adjusted sector teeth have a very slight amount of drag over center. This eliminates the play or backlash. Rocking the pitman arm up and down on center will reveal pitman shaft bearing wear or play. Looseness creates steering wander and shake. Excess play with the gear on center is an indication of gear damage or wear. The first alignment check is camber. The factory setting is 1/4 degree positive on this AAM beam axle. This means the front wheel would be tilted outward at the top 1/4 degree. The front wheels are pointed straight ahead for this check. The 0 degree reading is well within range for a beam axle. The procedure and results are identical at the opposite, in this case left, front wheel. The turn plates assure that there is no bind or side thrust to the front wheels when checking the camber. The front wheels and tires float on the plates during the camber, caster, and toe-in checks. The caster check at the left front wheel begins with turning the wheel outward 15 degrees from center. The bubble vial is set to 0 at this wheel position. The Fast Trax vial has a caster and a camber side to the measurements. Clamped to the wheel correctly, these gauges can be very accurate. Now the left front wheel is steered to the right 15 degrees past center. The front of this tire is pointed inward. The caster reading in this position is 4.5 degrees positive. 4.5 positive degrees of caster is the factory specification for our 2005 Dodge Ram 3500 beam front axle. We now move to the right front wheel. The wheel is turned 15 degrees outward. The bubble file is set to 0 again. The wheel is then rotated 15 degrees inward. We're viewing here from the front. The reading at this position is also 4.5 degrees positive caster. This is correct for the 2005 Ram 3500 four-wheel drive front axle. Offset ball joints are available if there is a camber error. Normally, stock replacement ball joints should be sufficient. Excessive camber or caster error means there are bent parts, typically the beam axle itself or the steering knuckle. Most are familiar with toe-in. Toe-in for this truck is given in degrees. The traditional approach is an inch width measurement. Our experience with this truck has the optimal setting for oversized tires as 3/32 positive toe or toe-in. Positive toe means the front wheels will point inward slightly at the front of the tires. This reading will be determined by measuring the angle of the wheels as a shorter width at the front and a longer width at the rear of the tires. The Fast-Track's arms will be allowed to float in their positions and not be forced inward or outward during the tape measurement. Slack should be removed from the tape during these measurements. The toe-in is only 3/64 of an inch, or half the 3/32 that would be optimal for this truck and these tires. This insufficient toe-in could account for the slight feathering on the inside blocks of the front tires. The toe-in will be reset to 3/32 of an inch toe-in. When toe-in is reset to 3/32 of an inch, the steering gear will be brought back to the center position when the wheels are straight ahead. Caught this early, the tire rotation to the rear and cross quickly squared up the tread of these two front tires. The two rear tires rotated straight to the front should not feather after the alignment adjustment. The four-tire rotation does not include the spare and follows Cooper Tire's guideline. The rear tires are moved straight forward. The front tires are rotated to the rear in cross. The minor feathering vanished in 80 miles of driving after this tire rotation. Cold air pressure was corrected front and rear during the tire rotation. Based upon experience, and strictly for this truck, the tire pressures are set to 46 psi front and 42 psi rear when there is no load. This calculation is based on the weight of the truck and the load capacity of these tires. It is common for consumers and tire stores to overinflate these oversized tires, which results in center tread wear. When trailering with an equalizing hitch, tire inflation pressures are raised to 50 psi front and 48 to 50 psi rear. The AT3 XLT tires meet all requirements for an all-season and all-terrain tire. I've been driving at venues like this in northern Nevada for over half a century. The key objective is always to preserve equipment and preserve tires. When I conducted Tread Lightly four-wheel drive clinics, the emphasis was always on vehicle preservation, protecting the environment, and minimizing damage to tires and the powertrain. For off-pavement use, what I like about the AT3 XLT tires is the contact patch that offers a firm grip while being light on the environment. The AT3 XLT tire performs well on both dirt and asphalt. By Sliding edges at the sidewall double as additional off-pavement traction and protection from rock abrasion. Note how the tire pushes the rock sideways, barely leaving a mark. This tire would be just as much at home on a Jeep Trail Runner as a pickup truck. A heavily accessorized JK Wrangler Unlimited, if lifted for trail use, would do well with these tires. Despite the powdery, alkaline soil, these tires left a stable footprint in the two-track trail. The grip and superior braking are ideal for Sierra granite rocks found on hardcore trails. The 37 by 1250 oversize with a 10-inch tread width creates a wide contact patch with a firm grip. Enhanced braking with these tires is clear. Lateral stability is desirable both on and off pavement, also when trailering. On asphalt, immediately noticeable was the directional stability of these tires. The rib design makes the truck track true and predictably on or off pavement. Lateral grip on winter roads in four-wheel drive was also stable and sure-footed. We tow our trailers with this truck, and the wet curb weight of the accessorized Ram alone is 8,700 pounds, with 110 gallons of fuel on board. Add 8,400 pounds of trailer and the gross vehicle combination weight is 17,100 pounds. These tires are a load range D, and we have always run load range E tires. We made this test an exception, as these tires rate 3,525 pounds load capacity per tire, 124-hour service description. Load capacity is well above the OEM tires. The ride quality and handling of the vehicle with these tires is excellent. As for wear, Cooper Tire's durable tread technology held true at the first rotation. The projected mileage will well exceed the 60,000-mile warranty that is offered on the LT metric-sized AT3 XLT tires. We drive for maximum tread life and avoid hard cornering, acceleration contests, hard braking under load, and other tire lifespan limiters. Although we do not trailer with tires exceeding 50% wear, these tires should make 45,000 miles by the 50% 9/32 of an inch tread wear point. Our recipe for maximum tire life is checking and adjusting tire inflation front and rear, compensating for the load changes and trailering, use of a load distribution hitch and sway brake for trailering, rotating tires each 5,000 to 6,000 miles, and making sure the steering and wheel alignment are on specification. We purchased the Ram truck new, and all maintenance has been performed by our shop since day one. Now at 177,000 miles, the truck has been popular with readers and viewers since new and provides an impressive load capacity, excellent ride quality, safe handling, and superior braking. We use the Ram, but have never abused it. The medium-duty Cummins 5.9-liter turbo diesel engine has a life expectancy of at least 500,000 miles. Many ISB engines have lasted to 1,000,000 miles in Ram trucks. Tires are a perishable, however, for any truck, and Cooper Tires has focused attention on longevity with the Discoverer AT3 XLT design. These tires should provide years of quality service.